Hello, welcome to Hope Matters. My name is Pastor Shafer. I'm the senior pastor here at Mount Olive Lutheran Church in Santa Monica, California, and this is Hope Matters. Each week we talk to an interesting person from around the community and even around the country and around the world about the theme of hope, because we believe that hope matters. My guest this week is Heather Davis, who is a songwriter, singer, urban missionary, and a whole bunch of things in her background. We'll talk about in a few minutes. But Heather, it's so nice to have you with us.
Thank you for inviting me. This is nice.
And Heather has a new CD we're going to talk about. But I think, Heather, the best way to introduce you is maybe to share a little music. So for the benefit of our viewers, we've queued up one of Heather's songs that she wrote. She's not the performer. She'll tell us about that, and she'll tell us about the song. But listen to the words. They're really wonderful. So let's see if we can do this, Heather. All right. Share the screen. Share the sound. There we go.
I don't think that's the one you wanted to show.
It isn't. You're right. Okay. All right, for our viewers, we'll come back to that. I don't know how I got that one. And
you know, we're all continually learning how to do these things on Zoom. I was just going over this feature with someone else this morning.
All the broken-hearted children grown up now and trying to hide shards and shames we never asked for, ancient pain still deep inside. Enter here, the wounded Savior. Enter here, where we were lost. Enter here, our one true Father. Take us home, now holy enough. All the longings for freedom, our desires can never grant, grips and grandeurs of our making. From dead-end paths we cry, I can't. Enter here, the wounded Savior. Enter here, where we were lost. Enter here, our one true Father. Take us home, now holy enough. All the ways you long to grace us with a love too wide to bear, tears and toils from all man's failure lose their sting in Christ's dear care. Enter here, the wounded Savior. Enter here, where we were lost. Enter here, our one true Father. Take us home, now whole enough. Enter here, the wounded Savior. Enter here, take us home now whole enough.
All right, that worked.
Yeah.
Sometimes my share screens start again, but we'll manage that if it happens. So, all right. Well, tell our viewers about this song. The words were crystal clear, which was wonderful. But now you're not singing this when you wrote this one.
Well,
Okay.
it was so interesting to hear you introduce me as a songwriter, because I've only been a songwriter for about this long. This is a very late season gift. I've always been a writer. I started out as a copywriter, then I was a screenwriter, then I wrote books, then I got my master's in theology, and I started writing theology books and theology communication books. And so all of these things are all kind of part of my formation. But then a couple of years ago, just out of nowhere, with no musical background, I started hearing songs. Like I could hear full like lyrics and melodies and the whole thing. And I thought, well, this is interesting. How am I going to figure out a way to birth them? And this was one of the very first songs. I actually kind of heard it sitting up at the Getty. I'd started a 2-year program in Christian formation and spiritual direction. And I just could hear this song, and it kind of was a way of gathering up almost all of the introductions of the people who were doing the course with me, and just really thinking about how we're all brokenhearted children, grown up now in these shards and shames. Everyone's story is filled with these threads of the same story, even though we imagine everybody else is an insider. We're the only ones that's an outside. Everybody had the same kind of story. And so I think it was a reflection of that. And so I sat with it and I kept asking people like, oh, musician friends, maybe can you help me? Oh yeah, sure. But they're busy. They have their own things to do. And finally, I just knew I'm going to have to figure out how to do it myself. And so I jumped someone who'd been a neighborhood musician for a long time. I said, can you teach me piano? Can you teach me composition? Can you teach me all this stuff? And once I got, that was the first song I notated. And I kind of figured it out and figured out the chords. And the woman who you see singing it is my neighbor of 25 years, not a believer. No one in the room there is a believer. And I just knew that I wanted her to sing it. And I thought, and we never talked about any kind of creative projects together. And I said, would you do me a favor and just play this for me and sing it so I can hear it. I just want to hear what it sounds like coming out of somebody else. And I knew that if it spoke to her, then I was on the right track. And as soon as she didn't even play it, I just sang it for her like a cappella, and she's looking at the thing and she goes, we've got to get Jonas, who is that's the guy on the piano, that's her ex-husband. And he arranged the whole thing and they put it together. And so for me, this process of songwriting, which is up until 3 weeks ago, has been a process of me writing songs and then finding other dear friends to bring them to life, to perform them and to sing them. And that's, the new album is all different friends of mine singing these songs. It's a way of gifting a little grace to other people who are talented, creative people who may be sidelined for whatever reason. Maybe it's their age or life stage, or just because it's hard to be an artist in the world, and then you come and say, oh, I have a song that I want you to sing. And it's a joy to them. And so it's really, it's been a great process. And then a lot of mutual learning happens in the dialoguing around, producing the songs, and the faith needle is moved.
Wonderful. And then that led to your new CD.
Yeah.
Life in the Key of God. Tell us about this.
Well, the song we just heard is the opening song on that, but every song on that CD, they're all songs that I've written for someone in particular to bring to life. And I wrote the whole thing in under a year as I was learning to play piano and as I was learning to compose. And then I would turn it over to people, and we just did the whole thing. And it was all done under COVID conditions. Some of those people recorded into their phone, like, in a closet in Massachusetts, and sent the tracks out here somewhere else. I mean, we have all kinds of great stories about how it came to be. And I think that just made me feel like, okay, I can do that. I can put this together. And when we interviewed a lot of the artists who worked on it, the one thing they said is, particularly the people who weren't believers, said this music just makes me feel hopeful. And I know that's the theme of your show. And I think that that is an aspect about music that is rooted deeply in the knowledge of who Jesus is, even if it never talks about him. Um, that sense of hope comes through in the storytelling and in the melodies. And so I think that's what people pick up on, whether they really know much about church or maybe they don't even want anything to do with it, but they can hear that beauty and they can lean in to that, right?
Wonderful, wonderful. So how can people find this CD if they want to purchase it?
Oh, they can get it anywhere online. I mean, whether it's, Amazon or Apple Music or Spotify, all the streaming services have it for free, or you can just order it on Amazon if you want the hardcover, because, there's neat artwork in it and all the information. And then if you
Sure.
just go to my website, Heather Choate Davis, the middle name is Choate, heatherchoatedavis.com. All the lyrics are on there and other places you can buy it, and then new singles that are coming out this year with some music videos.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, that's great. Gee, well, there's so much more we could talk about. We try to actually keep these interviews fairly short because we
I think
learned that
that's smart.
heard people do not listen a long time. So, but I would love to actually talk further with you about your work as an urban missionary and things like that. And so, but let's do it. Let's do another one later, and
Okay,
then we
we'll do
can
that.
we can do that because I think this one is about the music and is about the hope that you bring to the world through your music, and we're so grateful to you, Heather, both for being with us today, but more importantly, for offering this music to the world. It's important, especially right now.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time.
Thank you for being with us. This has been Hope Matters, a production of Mount Olive Lutheran Church here in Santa Monica, California. I'm Pastor Eric Shafer, the senior pastor here at Mount Olive, and we're so glad that our guest today, Heather Choate Davis, has been with us, and that you've joined us, our viewers today, because we believe in a God of hope, and we believe that hope matters. Thank you for being with us.